Hey everyone, I'm James, and this is Covetous Imp Gaming, and this week I want to talk about some changes that are coming down the pipe in regards to spellcasting. If you haven't done so already, please do the internet robots a favor, like this video, leave us a comment below, hit the subscribe button and the bell so you're alerted to when we release our future content, and check us out over on Facebook and Patreon. Those links are down below. So the changes that are coming are spells are going to go from the spellcasting category to the ability category. And when a spell becomes an ability, it ceases to have the counterable effect, meaning that this spell is going to happen and you're not going to be able to use a counterspell to stop it from happening. So I think the real issue with this is counterspell itself. And the first big issue with counterspell is your player agency. Player agency is your ability to play your character the way you want to. Now, your wizard just hit level 5, ding, level up. What are you going to do? I'm going to take Fireball and Lightning Bolt. I can't wait. The next thing I fight, I don't care if it's one single goblin, I'm casting Fireball, and that's how it's going to go down, guys. I got this. And then the rest of the party is going to say, well, what about counterspell? Like, you want to be able to counterspell something. Like, what happens when we get to the big bad guy and he's a caster and then, you know, we don't have counterspell and you're not going to be able to counterspell something and all you're going to be able to do is just shell out damage. You have just lost your player agency and you've now taken counterspell and turned your wizard from I shell out all kinds of damage to I am a Magic the Gathering control deck and all I do is counterspell things. Now, what beats a control deck? Another control deck. So you have enemy spellcaster and he says, I'm going to cast Disintegrate on that guy that I watched get beat up for the past couple rounds. And you, friendly wizard, says, no, I'm going to counterspell that. And then enemy wizard says, well, I'm going to counterspell your counterspell. Now, if this is where the cycle ends, then I've used 2 spell slots and my reaction, and my spell goes off. And maybe that guy dies. But if you have another possible counterspell in your group, then my spell gets countered, and 4 spell slots have been used, and you've effectively done more healing than your cleric could have done. This puts an unrealistic void in the action economy for an entire round. The enemy, the big bad guy, has used 2 spell slots and done 0 damage. And you have an entire round of 0 fear of any reaction coming from your big bad, which means when it gets back to the wizard's turn, he can cast any spell he wants on the big bad with no fear of counterspell. And anybody can walk in, take a swing, and walk out of combat without fear of an opportunity attack. So, a few things about bigger named characters. You can always give them a legendary action to be able to teleport 120 feet. That gets them far out of range of counterspell and gives them the ability to cast freely on their turn. Another thing is to give a reaction that is counterspell-esque, where the person casting a spell has to make a saving throw, and if the saving throw is failed, they lose the spell, and some ability that that character has gets a little bit stronger. I did that with Rahadin in Curse of Strahd. So I think that that kind of gameplay does cause a paradigm shift, where the wizard becomes the effective healer because they're countering all the incoming damage. And it allows the cleric to become the wizard, where they can walk in and say, well, I'm not using any spell slots on healing. I'll just do a 6th level inflict wounds on this guy and roll 8d10. So some of these changes have already been implemented in the Wild Beyond the Witchlight book. Specifically, you can look at Calyx's stat block in the back of the book. He has a spell, an ability, actually, that's called Fiery Explosion, and it's basically just a 5th level fireball, but it can't be countered, and it recharges on a 4 to 6. So half the time, he'll be casting Fireball. Keep in mind, he's still a wizard and will probably only cast it once or twice before getting killed anyway. But the bulk of these changes will actually go into effect when Mordenkainen's Monsters of the Multiverse releases in January, and I will be sure to do a review of that when it finally releases. So I'm very interested to hear what your guys' thoughts are on these upcoming changes, so let me know in the comments below what you guys think. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. We appreciate all the support, and we'll see you next time.